Right, there's one team left. There's one team left, so let's do it. I actually left them until now, GiantX, because they're not the worst. They're actually not as disappointing as SK. They're not as bad as Mad Lions. So the place, obviously, to start is this. The one thing that you have to say, I think it's almost a universal good out of GiantX this split, because that's real. They're probably not good at Worlds. I agree with you. But the one thing I have to say is a positive, because there's been so many negatives. And I think most people just don't even care about GiantX, mate. I think they're just in that weird spot where people genuinely ignore them and just expect them to lose. But the one positive is, I do think Jackie's has showed himself. Like, this guy split on split looks like he get better. By the way, if he doesn't stay here, he could also go to some other teams, I think, and be good if he's in the right squad. Like, this guy actually seems like one of those ERL prospects who made it. He didn't do the classic thing, like execute. You have the one amazing split and then the one all right split. Then by the end, it's like, do we keep him? Like, this guy looks at his best this split.
Yeah, no, I think Jackis has actually had a very successful year, and I think the meta also suits him very well.
Oh, yes.
Like these AD metas, I think it's the perfect timing for him to actually be playing these. And I honestly can tell, like, from watching Giants, that they've been working hard, like, on actually becoming a solid team. Like, they've found their identity, which is basically, Antonio, you play the Ornn, they blind the Ornn every single game. And that is honestly the only champion that Antonio looks, solid in team fights. Every other champion kind of like overruns it and goes way too deep. But his team fighting on Ornn is very good. And then the only thing that I wish GiantX would do is actively play around Jackie's, because I don't think he's getting enough attention. Like, in a lot of the games, they always play around Patrick, and when it comes to mid-game, it's mostly going to be through Patrick. Maybe he's the most vocal. But I see these games, like in one of the playoff series, where Jackis is 3-0 on this Tristana, and they're still playing through this, like, 0-0-0 Kaiser, or whoever it was that Patrick was playing. And I don't think he's getting enough attention. I would like to see, because he's kind of like the guy that can actually carry games. Like, he has the mechanics, he's shown multiple times he's willing to go for those aggressive plays. He will go in the team fight, like when he played Nico a long time ago. He would play like this Nico, always look for these like flash engages, and he will deal damage. He will actually look to carry the game. He will look on the own, he will look to ulti in the backline, try to make these plays where he can carry. But I would just like to see GiantX to develop a style where they actually play through him and try to enable him, like sort of like how the Fnatic does with Humanoid, or how they do with Caps. Like, that's what I would like to see, because I don't think he's getting enough attention to actually show how good he actually could be. I don't know if they've already practiced it in scrims and it doesn't work, etc. Because Jackis does have a lot of like int moments on side where he will get caught and he will like destabilize the game just by like getting caught on side. But his team fighting and just his overall year has been very impressive. I think that's probably the most successful thing that's come out of Giants in this year, like developing this rookie, making him look good.
The obvious problem GX, and when they were XL, has had is that Patrick's been there a million years now. Like, it feels like it's so long at this point in time. And obviously, because he's like the legacy player, and he used to be pretty good. Like, I always used to say, I actually thought he was fairly reasonably evaluated. People used to say he was like, what, the fourth best ADC or something, which, like, he's good. He's not quite usually like when Reckless was good, the Reckless level or the Hans Sama level, or pick whoever you want to be the best at that time. Yeah. But he was never bad. He was usually always in the top half ADC. How about that in the league, right? My problem is this. I don't think he's bad, but I also don't think he's like a true star carry. Like, as you say, if you're going to play through this guy, like, put it this way, Upset right now is better at carrying a game than him. You give Upset 3 kills in his area or something like that, he'll carry that game. I don't always know if Patrick will. And the reason why this is weird is because, like I said about Niski, I'd love to know what Niski thinks about Niski. Because, 11 days ago on Sheep Esports, Patrick did an interview and he said this. This was the quote that he even used on Reddit. He said, I still think I'm really good. He actually said, didn't he just say, really good, even after playing 6 to 7 years? I think I'm getting better every year. Now, what's funny is, even though people will donk on that last part, when players say they're getting better, what they usually mean, guys, is not that they're better in-game with hands. They just mean like their game knowledge improves and their macro knowledge improves and they think they understand the game better and how to compete. But, because my problem is, first of all, I do think actually he has dropped behind the pack a little bit in terms of ADCs. And then secondly, the difference is when you would play through him in past years, he would still carry, like 2 or 3 games if you give him that. I feel like that's gotten down too. Look, I will say I think Ignar's a bit shit right now. I know he's an old fucking teammate, but I don't think he's very good right now personally. So it's not like I put it all on him, but I don't know, mate. This is the year where ADC could be pretty powerful. Like, I'm just not really feeling Patrick as much now. Where are you at on that?
I mean, I think one of the most common things that I've heard every single time by other AD carries, and especially like in the LEC, everyone always says Patrick is really really good.
Oh, fair enough.
He's really good, and that's always been like the narrative. But he's been their franchise player since 2019. At this point, I think it'd be good for him as well to like change teams and try some new style, because it's clearly not working. They're never able to actually fully play around him, and he does also make some mistakes in mid game where he will get caught like in team fights or miss position. So he's not a perfect player either in that sense. Like, he still has a solid fundamentals. He does solid laning phase. He usually wins the matchup he needs to win, etc. Like, he's just a solid player. But it kind of reminds me of Kobe, I think. I think it kind of reminds me of Kobe, like being the solid guy, and then like he never really ints, but he doesn't really like fully carry the game unless he has the resources to do so. And that's the kind of guy Patrick has become for me. I think a really solid and good player, but I don't know what it is. It's been too many years now where he's been on the same lineup and they never had success, except the split where he had Mickey X and they made playoffs for the first time. So I'm not sure where to put that. I think he's a solid player, but that's pretty much it. I don't see anything else. I would like to see Jackies. I want to see more of Jackies. I want to see people play around him. I want to see him being like
he's the win condition,
the star. Yeah. I want to see them like legit hug him, like be around him on the side. Ignar plus Juhan, like them together, just like always being around Jackies. And then I want to see if he can actually carry. Like, can he carry with the resources given to him? Will he deal the damage? Will he carry in the team fights? Because that's just something I haven't seen like from Giants.
No, I'll even say as well, the other thing about the Patrick angle that also makes me feel like he's not as good a player is, remember, it wasn't just Hansama guy. This guy also was that one where if the Draven's there, he'll pick it and he could carry a game and everyone was scared. I don't think anyone's scared of this guy's Draven anymore. I think they just even give him it, man. Like, he just doesn't have the same carry potential for whatever reason. You know, just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, it might be team diff or whatever it is. Like, you'll never know. But yeah, I don't think of, when I think of Patrick now, I don't think about the Draven. Like, I actually completely forgot it until you mentioned it right now. Like, Hansama, I still think about the Draven is still there. Like, it could get pulled out anytime, and he might just shit stomp you. Like, that might actually happen. But with GiantX, you're like, okay, they picked Draven. They're probably gonna throw in mid game anyways, so we'll see what happens.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.